This is another live, as I said before, by Corporate World. You're in the Creators Economy Network podcast area. And today we have a great guest. We're going to learn a lot about Instagram, about how to grow on Instagram, how to get monetized, how to monetize your content, how to create a business out of your Instagram account. And this lady is all about that. She's giving advice for free in her account, and she's going to answer all the questions we have. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or in the question section here, and I'll do my best to ask everything. A bit, a short description of our guest today. Her name is Millie, and she's an Instagram influencer coach and an entrepreneur, of course, because that's her business. She's making a living out of it. So she knows, by first hand that what she does, it works, and we're gonna share all this information with you today. She has a great account called Modern Millie, and she shares business tips on her blog. We're going to talk about all of this in just a few seconds. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring on Millie and let's kick off this podcast conversation. Hello.
Hello. Oh, that one's
Hello, Millie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Where are you right now? Where are you located?
I'm in San Diego.
All right. Is it morning?
What was that?
Is it morning over there?
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay, it's not too early. Let me switch my light on as well. I forgot about it. Is it better?
Yeah, that looks great.
Or am I too bright?
No,
so
you're
thank you for... Oh, I'm glowing. That's good. That's a good thing. So thank you for accepting our invitation. We have been following your account for a while now, and we know what you do. And we would like to share all this wisdom you have, contemplated all those years with our fan base. So let's start right from the beginning. Who is Millie and what she does?
Yeah, I'm Millie. I'm an online educator and YouTuber. I teach specifically aspiring influencers how to grow and monetize the platform. I do have a lot of other entrepreneurs come to me, so even if they're not influencers specifically, maybe they're small businesses, coaches, people who just want to grow on Instagram, kind of flock my way. I've been doing it for about 2 or 3 years now. My YouTube really started to take off summer of 2020, so right smack dab in the beginning of COVID.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where my journey started. Was one of my YouTube videos picked up, and I was like, oh, my YouTube channel got monetized. Maybe I could actually do this thing, and kind of went from there.
Cool. What were you doing before that?
I was trying to grow still. I was still trying to teach, trying to coach. I had worked in corporate for about 5 years as a project manager. So from, 2014-ish to 2019 was when I was working in corporate. And then 2019 is when I quit my job, a corporate job, to pursue being an influencer full time. I was making an income as an influencer, but not yet as a coach. So I was landing brand collaborations, getting paid for content creation specifically. And then 2020 is when I pivoted to focus more on coaching and growing the teaching aspect of it.
All right. Did you start on Instagram, or did you start with YouTube first?
That's kind of a tricky question, because I was posting to YouTube since maybe 2009 with my little brother. So my little brother and I, we had our own YouTube channel. We posted weekly, but we weren't trying to be YouTubers or anything. We were just creating and having fun. So my love for creation started with YouTube, but my entrepreneurial journey started on Instagram, and Instagram was the platform that I first was trying to grow on. And once I started to get a decent following size and people started asking questions, I figured I could teach better in long form content on YouTube. So then I brought it to YouTube and started juggling the two.
All right. Okay, so I've seen your account. I mean, you're very creative and you post quite regularly. I wonder what's a day in your life looks like. It's 10 a.m. where you are right now. If we didn't have this conversation, what would you be doing and what the rest of the day would look like?
Yeah, so every single day is a little bit different depending on what I have to do as a content creator, influencer, and business owner, because I have a team under me. Every day looks different. It's not like going into corporate. When I walked in, I was like, I know exactly what I'm doing every single day. It's going to look the same. It changes all the time. So basically, I don't really start my workday until 10 a.m. I like to have the mornings to myself, whether I choose to sleep in or whether I choose to wake up 7 a.m., go on a run or go to yoga or do some sort of movement. I like to take longer mornings to myself so that when I step into work, I feel fully prepared. Then at 10 a.m., the days will vary. So Mondays are my call days, Mondays and Tuesdays, which are the days where I'll do my makeup, I'll create content, I'll schedule business meetings, and that's my hey, look at my face day. Then Wednesday through Friday is no makeup, usually admin work or scripting YouTube videos, giving feedback on the edited YouTube videos to my video editors, all the things. I'm trying to think of all of my, I usually get a lot of Slack messages throughout the day from my different team members. So a lot of it is replying to them, helping them answer questions for them and making sure they're getting their stuff done so that my business can keep running.
All right. So you mentioned you have a team. You're at this place right now. I guess that was not how you start this journey. What type of people do you have in your team, and what you delegate and what you do on yourself?
Right. I didn't start with a team for sure. It gradually grew. I started by myself, posting everything I could. And then once I felt like I hit a plateau of I can't grow anymore, or I literally can't do anything else, that's when I made my first hire. And my first hire was a general VA. So I just delegated here, do my Instagram engagement and post my posts for me so that I could focus more on the creation side of the posts and YouTube. So that was my first hire, was just giving somebody the tasks that I'm like, this is sucking my time, and gradually grew from there. So right now I have video editors, a VA, social media assistant, a DBM, which is a digital business manager, somebody that edits my YouTube thumbnails and SEO for my blog, and an agent who manages my brand collaborations.
That's quite a team.
It's a good team.
It's a good team. A lot of things to manage there. Okay, so we found out how your week looks like. What I can see here is that you batch creating, that you are using 1 or 2 days to do all your creating stuff, and then everything else is planning, scripting, networking, probably. Can you tell a bit more about this process? How do you do the batching?
Yeah, batching has saved my life tremendously. For anybody watching who doesn't know what batching is, it's basically when you do one task repeatedly. And the science behind that is when you just stick to that one task, you're able to get into more of a flow state. So when you're like, when people say, oh man, I'm on a roll, that's when you're in your flow state. And when you're in flow state, you're more productive and you could get a lot more done instead of having to jump between, oh, I need to check emails. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. You want to batch focus your tasks, and that increases your productivity. For me, like yesterday, I batched recording reels, which is different than batch conceptualizing reels, because there's a whole process of, okay, how do I come up with my reel ideas? How do I find content to create or sounds that I want to use? So that's a section. And then you have the recording, which is all batched. And then you have editing, which is a separate batch time. And then you have scheduling, which is getting it ready to schedule, making sure the captions are all set. So that's kind of how I break everything up. And I batch, I kind of like how I was telling you, I kind of batch things on each day. So Mondays and Tuesdays are creation. And I also do admin in batching tasks. I also record my YouTube videos in a batch task. Replying Slack, I'm trying to get better at only replying to Slack messages within a specific time frame every day. That's a hard one for me to stick to, but that's something I'm trying to do, so I am not always getting interrupted when I'm trying to get into the flow state. But yeah, that's kind of how I batch everything, and it depends on what day. I was kind of talking in my stories just now, earlier, before coming on here, to a lot of people like, how do you get so much done? How do you get so much done? And the reason I'm able to batch and get things done is because I work with my body and I choose what I'm going to do that day based off of how I'm feeling instead of forcing things. So a lot of people think you need to force creativity. You need to force, oh, I need to just record reels today. And yeah, you absolutely can. Some people could do that. Great for you. I can't do that. So instead, I wait for those like peaks of, what am I feeling today? Today, I could absolutely reply to all 4 inboxes. I'm going to focus on inboxes. Or today, how am I feeling? I'm going to record some reels today. And sure enough, yesterday when I batched my reels, I got 14 done in 2 hours because I was feeling it.
All right. Let's get a bit more practical in that aspect. I mean, batching, for example, reels. I guess you will have to use different outfits. So while you share your reels, it doesn't look like you've recorded everything in the same day.
Yeah.
So what's the practical process there? Let's give the people a big eye on what you do during that day.
Yeah, so when I'm recording my reels, I set up my lighting. So this was already set up from yesterday's recording. So I'm like, oh, cool, I'll just use this. So I set up my lighting.
That's practical.
And then, yeah, it's perfect. Then I go to the closet, I grab maybe 5 to 10 different shirts or sweaters, a few different accessories, so maybe hats or sunglasses, just to make it look like it's a different day. And my biggest thing that I'll switch up is my hair. So sometimes it's in a ponytail, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's in a bun. And I'll usually record 3 reels in one outfit. And then I'll just space those reels out because nobody really cares if it was recorded the same day. I think we care more than our followers care. So I'll just space it out and record 3 to 4 reels in one outfit, switch outfits, record 3 to 4 reels, switch outfits, 3 to 4 reels.
All right. I saw a reel you shared the other day, and it was your reaction to when Adam Mosseri posts a video on his Instagram account. And for anyone who doesn't know who Adam is, he's the CEO of Instagram. And I know every time he comes online to share something, all influencers are biting, the nails, what he's going to spit out this time and what is changing. Following Adam, though, I have a view that everything is going towards video. And I've seen the reels blowing this year, and I think it's a trend still. What do you think about video? What do you think is the best way to create content today, 2022?
I think the best way to create content today on Instagram, specifically in 2022, will vary depending on what your goals are with Instagram. So I'm sure a lot of people watching this live right now, their goal will probably be growing on Instagram because the title of this conversation is how to grow and monetize. If your goal is growth, then it is a no-brainer to create reels. I know everybody's going to roll their eyes. They're like, everybody says that. And the reason everybody says it is because it works when you're posting reels strategically and consistently. Again, another eye roll moment. Oh, consistent. Like, we all know, post reels, be consistent, right? Oh, why does that not work for me? A lot of people have their strategies maybe that need some tweaking, which is why those things aren't working for them. It means you need to take a step back, look at what your approach is, what your strategy is, and why reels isn't working for you. Change your strategy and approach and start posting reels again. It doesn't mean, oh, reels don't work. It means the strategy that you have behind your reels right now isn't working, and that strategy needs to change.
Yep, that's something a lot of people do. When something doesn't work for them, they put this in a bucket and they say that doesn't work. And most of the times is the way you use the tool. It's not the tool itself that has the issue there. And reels, I mean, the organic reach is huge there, right?
Yeah.
So when you say use them strategically, what do you mean?
So with reels, a lot of people kind of just create content that's trending. They see a trend and they're like, oh, I'm going to jump on the trend. Woo, post. I'm going to jump on the trend, post. And trends are great. They definitely can potentially increase your reach, but you want to make sure that, here's another eye roll moment. Ready, everybody? You're being niche specific with your reels that you're creating. I know. And you're providing value with those reels. And before everybody exits away because they're like, oh, I've heard this before. When I like to say, just stick to a topic. So me, I'm an Instagram coach. So I'm going to focus on Instagram. And then when I provide value, what I mean by that is I'm going to provide a type of reel that falls under 4 categories: educational, inspirational, relatable, and entertaining. And if my reels can fall under one of these 4 categories, then I know it's going to be a good reel. If I could hit 2 of those with one video, then I know it's going to do even better, because that's what people are on the app for. At Instagram, Adam Asseri, they say it all the time, you're on Instagram because you want to be entertained. So if you can be entertained and educated in one reel, people are like, ooh, that's a good one. So when you're creating your reels, you want to keep that at the forefront of your mind. What am I providing with this video? Am I providing education? Am I providing entertainment, inspiration, or relatability? And if you can't categorize it under one of those, then is it really a good reel that's going to give you the benefit of growth?
Mm-hmm. So jumping from trend to trend is not a way to grow. It doesn't feel strategic anyway.
Yeah, it's not too strategic. I mean, trends definitely help, but it shouldn't be 100% of your strategy. If you could do like an 80-20, where 20% of your content is trending content and 80% is original, or even you take a trend and put your own twist to it, that would be a good balance. But always using those trending sounds and never adapting it to your niche, that's not really going to help you.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned 4 categories. I think number 3 was relatability. Mm-hmm. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by relatability? How content can be related to the other side of the screen?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Relatability, basically, when somebody watches that reel, and if you can stir up an emotion or a reaction where they're like, oh yeah, same. Or they're like, oh my gosh, that is so Jessica. I need to send this to Jessica. You know, they react like, oh my gosh, I get you. And you're inside of their head and they're like, I thought I was the only one. That is relatability, and that can obviously increases likes. People laugh, or they're like, oh my gosh, no, that's not me. So it increases the engagement, and it's also encouraging them to send that relatable post to their friend Jessica, because they're like, that's so Jessica. Or they put it on their stories because they're like, someone understands me. So that's the relatability element that you'd want to try to adapt to your reels to encourage an increase of shares, resulting in an increase of traction to that reel.
Is that the most difficult to hit of the 4 categories?
I think it depends on the person that's creating the reel. It doesn't have to be difficult. If you know your target audience well enough, it's going to come naturally to you. Like, I know my target audience really well because I lived through my target audience's struggles. My target audience is basically Millie from 3 years ago. So I know the difficulty of like, oh, 5 years ago when I post to Instagram, woo, my post, I'm viral, versus now it's like crickets. So if I post something like that, my audience is like, yes, same. And I know how to create the relatability because I've been there. So I think it depends on the person, how difficult that would be and how well they know their audience.
Yeah, that makes sense because the more you are connected to the audience, the longer, the more you will be able to make more relatable to content to them.
Exactly.
What role does patience plays to all this?
What was that?
What's the role of patience to all this? I mean, people are impatient a lot of time, and they think they would get results very fast. Uh, do you think that patience is a key element?
Are you saying basics?
No, patience. Maybe I'm not saying the word correctly.
Yeah, I'm not
Patient.
sure about that one.
Yeah, when you are a patient, you wait. That's what I mean.
Completion mark? Okay, sorry, you froze. Everybody's saying patience. Sorry, it's hard to hear because I'm like standing far away from my camera.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not. English is not my first language. So.
No, thank you, everyone. So ask the question again, and I'll get it.
Yeah, what's the role of patience in all this? I mean, is it key?
Yeah.
I believe it's key. What do you believe?
I think without it, you would just give up. Something that I say all the time to my students is success is inevitable. The goal that you have set for yourself, the marker, the dreams that you have, it's inevitable. It's going to happen as long as you put in the action to make it happen. It might take longer than you would like, but as long as you're doing the steps you need to take to get there, that success or reaching that goal, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So you have to be patient with the results. All of us are so used to that instant gratification that social media gives us. We have the world at the palm of our hands, where if we have a question like, how do I cook rice? Boop, boop, boop. Okay, I know how to cook rice. Like, you have that instant gratification. So we think our goals should be just as instantly gratified, but that's not the reality of life. You have to take each step and you still get the results might take a little bit longer. So that's why patience is so huge. You have to understand great things come with time, but you have to understand that the overnight success unicorns you see, that's super rare. A lot of people put in years of hard work before they grow.
That's a great way to look at it. I mean, if you have in your mind that success is inevitable, it's something that is going to happen, then patience is inevitable as well, because you're just expecting the outcome. And okay, I had a conversation earlier today, and someone told me that between your success and today, there are a lot of steps. Each step is a failure. It's something that you did and you failed, but you're moving forward. Is that the way you're looking at things?
Yeah, I think of it more as you either win or you learn. Not so much you either win or you lose, or you win or you fail. It's like you either win or you learn. Because if you didn't succeed, or if you think, oh shoot, I failed at that thing, it's a learning opportunity for you to take a look at it and be like, okay, why didn't this post perform well? A lot of people like to blame the algorithm because they don't want to blame themselves. They don't want to be like, oh, I suck. Oh. So they're like, Instagram
It's always
sucks,
the algorithms,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people like to put the blame on Instagram because it's a lot easier to take, instead of saying I could have done something 1% better. So when you're looking at your posts or reflecting on that thing that maybe didn't perform as well as you wanted it to, just ask yourself, okay, next time, how could I make this 1% better? Maybe you just accept the fact, like, I did not take time to write a good caption. I own it. Next time I'm going to take time to write a good caption, and just work on that next time. And then you wrote a good caption, and then you go, okay, well, I really BS'd my way through that graphic because I just wanted to get it done. Next time I'm going to make time to make a quality graphic. So just taking it as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have a question. I don't know if we can really answer that. I'm having trouble pushing the go button on my online business. Why? I'm so creative.
They're having trouble with what?
Pushing the go button on their online business, although they're so creative.
The first
what
step
could
is
be wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, the first step is always the hardest. It's the most intimidating. And it's like when you want to try something new, playing piano, for example. If you don't know how to play piano, you're like, okay, I want to learn how to play piano. And you sit at the bench and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. You sit there and you're like, I could press a button, but it's not going to be a musical masterpiece. So I need to first learn what these buttons are. And then I need to learn how to put them in order. And then you're sitting there thinking, okay, I need to figure out what all these keys mean, and then I need to put them in order. And you never take action because you're sitting there on the bench thinking about how to create a beautiful masterpiece, when really all you needed to do was go boom and press the key. So a lot of people get stuck at pressing like that go button, just like doing it because they think they need to have it all figured out, but they don't. It's just like, okay, what one action could you take today to help future you? Today, I could figure out who my target audience is. Sit at the computer, do some research, maybe competitor research is something you want to do. So take it one day at a time and ask yourself, what's one action I could take today that future Millie will be like, you go, girl, good job.
So it's a slow process, one step at a time. That's the only way to go forward. All right, let's go to the monetizing thing. Let's go to how do you monetize, and how many ways are there to monetize your content, your audience, your online presence?
There's a lot of ways you can monetize depending on, what your business is, what your goals are. You can do, let's see, affiliate marketing. You can monetize on Instagram now. So that would be live badges, Reels ads, IGTV, well, Instagram video now, Instagram video ads, Reels bonuses, collaboration, so brand collaborations. You can sell digital products, you can offer coaching, you could do group coaching calls, you can make a membership. Like, the list goes on and on. There's so many ways you can make money nowadays. It just depends on what niche you're in or what business you're in and which one of those things makes the most sense for you.
Yeah, there are so many ways, and the more creative you are, I mean, you can find more ways to monetize the audience.
Yeah,
I think you make a living out of what you do. I mean, it's your full-time job, right?
yes.
What was the breaking point? I mean, how many followers do you have? What happened when you realized, okay, I can make a full-time living out of here?
Yeah, I think the breaking point for me, so before I was making this my full-time living, I would listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos of interviews of how to make influencer your full-time job or how to be a full-time entrepreneur. So I was trying to learn how to go full-time. What's that jumping step? Like, what's that leap of faith? And I learned two things. One, everybody said, do multiple streams of income. Make multiple streams of income. Make multiple streams of income. If you are selling digital products, what other things can you sell? When you have 6 streams of income, you're a millionaire, So I was like, okay, how do I figure out how to do this multiple streams of income thing? So I was trying to do multiple streams of income, When in reality, I needed to figure out just one stream of income. I needed to focus on one, get like a rhythm going with that, figure that thing out. And then once that was figured out, which for me, the first thing was brand collaborations. Once I had a consistent income with there, I went to the next one, which then was coaching. And then once that was figured out there, I was like, okay, maybe I can make digital products based off of what I teach. Then I switched over there. So it was gradually added over time. I think overwhelming yourself with trying to make multiple streams of income in 1 month is a little ambitious. So focus on one thing at a time, and taking the time to listen to your audience and what they want is something that helped me a lot. And the second thing that I learned was I was trapped in my comfort zone. I was doing things that I was comfortable doing, which, I mean, that's a good thing. We don't want to be too far out there and talking to strangers, you know. You don't want to talk to strangers, so staying in comfort zone's fine and all. But something that I learned was to see success that you've never seen before means you have to be in a place you've never been before. And that was like mind-blowing for me. I was like, oh my gosh, if I need to up level my business, or if I need to make more money than I've ever made in my entire life, that's going to come from a place of discomfort. And I need to start making myself uncomfortable so I could see those results. So I think that was like the biggest mind-blowing moment for me was I'm too comfortable. I'm trying to stay in this box, and this box is preventing me from making the money that I want to make. And I had to have a huge mindset adjustment, and then I was able to kind of make more money just from a mindset adjustment.
Wow, that's so powerful. I mean, can you repeat that quote? I mean, we need to emphasize on that.
You know, I kind of just made it up, so let me see if I can remember it. I hope somebody got that and could tell me what that was. But let's see what I was saying. When you can, let's see.
That was great. I mean, I think you said in order to be into a new place, you need to do some things differently, some things out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you want to grow exponentially, you can't be doing the same thing you do every day. You have to change that and get out of your comfort zone. Okay, it's not as good as you said it, but you know, the meaning
I think it was like, if you want to be in a new level of success, then you need to be in a new place. That means you have to be in a new level of uncomfort, or it comes from a place of discomfort because you've never been there before.
Yeah. Oh, somebody is writing in the comments, says, if you want to see success you've never seen before, you need to be in a place you've never been before. That's great.
Somebody, can you screenshot that and send it to me?
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll send it, and you'll.
Are you there? Cool. Make sure you put that in your book. I mean, that's great. That's
seriously
great.
It just came to me, so I'm like, I need to make that a Instagram quote.
Thank God this call is recorded, so we have the chance to listen to it again and keep that. All right. So multiple streams of income means not putting your eggs in one basket, which is a great thing, and it's super possible in the online world. What was your first stream of income, and at what level? I mean, how many followers, how many subscribers did you have? When you saw that number, you said, maybe that's a good number to start monetizing.
So I was a little under 10,000 followers when I started doing brand collaborations. And I was making about $1,000 to $2,000 a month on brand collaborations with under 10,000 followers. I probably could have been charging more because I was also uneducated at the time of like how to charge and what to charge. So I probably could have been making more, but that was...
Did you do the brand deals yourself, or you went to an agency?
I was doing them myself. Okay. Yeah. So that was the first thing that I monetized, and it was, I think it was maybe 7,000 followers to 8,000 followers was when I started.
Cool. So we have to tell people that you don't have to have 1 million followers to start doing this thing, because there is a perception that 10,000 followers are not enough, or 20,000 followers are not enough. I had in another episode, I had a call with another influencer who told me that she replaced her full-time income when she hit 10,000 followers. And that's crazy. I mean, 10,000 is not impossible. If you struggle enough, if you have consistency, I know eye rolling and stuff, you can do it.
Yeah, you don't need to have 10,000 followers anymore. I think the only reason everybody wanted 10,000 followers was for the swipe up feature. And I think that became over, what's the word? Like over glorified, over hyper analyzed of just like, oh, 10,000 followers for this, then I also need 10,000 followers for this and this and this and this and this. And it just became this milestone that was just made up and imaginary. And for some reason, everybody made it up. It never existed. There was never this benchmark where the rule Instagram said was, hey, 10,000 followers or you're not getting paid. Like that was never a rule. So once people can break that out of the seeded thoughts in their brain, just like Instagram, they have officially given everybody access to the link sticker. There is no qualification except now getting like monetized depending on how fast you're growing or how often you're growing, for the other features like bonuses, reels, ads, those things. I think there's a lot of ways micro and nano influencers can be getting paid with brand collaboration specifically. There's a lot of third-party platforms like Aspire IQ, #paid. Those platforms, they pay their influencers under 10,000 followers. And there's a lot of things you can charge for. It's not just, hey, I posted a picture, pay me. It's you're charging how many hours you're working. You charge based off of usage rights. So if they're going to own your content, they pay you for that content, because they could have hired a photographer, model, an entire production team to do a photo shoot, but instead they're using their marketing budget on you. So if you think about it, you're saving them thousands of dollars. So you could be definitely upping your price because you're saving them a lot of expenses. Instead of having to hire a full-time production team, they're hiring you and you're providing value to them. Whether you feel like, oh, I don't have enough followers, doesn't matter if you have enough followers. The fact of the matter is they value their money and their time, and you're saving them both of those things. So you should be charging because you provide them so much more value than you even know.
That's super true. And once you mentioned content ownership and who owns what, I have to say that talking with creators, I see they're a bit uneducated on that matter, on how copyright works and who owns what, who is the creator, and how copyright works. And since we are Copyright World and we're a company that specializes on creating tools and automations to protect and monitor your content online, how would you explain to somebody the need, if you feel there is a need, to protect his content, and how viable the content is, especially these days where the creator economy is booming and the value of the content is growing? How important is copyright protection, and how important is to know who is using your content and in what way?
Well, for brand collaboration specifically, it's super important to make sure there's a clear contract in place and clear communication about who owns the content, because I just had somebody comment on my post this morning. They said, hey, Millie, I had a brand comment on my picture. I tagged them in it. They commented saying, hey, can we have usage rights? Can we have the usage rights and post this? Reply, yes, if you agree. And they didn't know what that meant. They thought, oh, they're going to share my post onto their Instagram. So that person replied yes to the brand's message. And all of a sudden, they were seeing, they didn't post their photo on their Instagram. They started using their photo throughout their website, on their ads. And that's because they simply...
On a cap, on a hat?
Yeah, they just didn't know what they were saying yes to. You imagine, like, you said yes to that, and all of a sudden you're driving down the freeway and you see your photo on a billboard. You could have been paid so much for that. So having that clear communication on knowing who owns the image is pivotal, because depending like how long they want to use your image for, if they want ownership for 3 months, you could charge per month. If they want ownership for 6 months, you could charge per month. If they want perpetuity, that means they're for forever. So you can charge so much more depending on how long they want to own your content for. So I think that's something incredibly important to be communicating with the brand and just letting them know, hey, I include 3 months of usage rights on only your social media channels with this rate. If you want to post anywhere else, I'm gonna have to add to this rate right now.
Amazing. That's something we try to do via this channel. I mean, via blog posts and podcasts. We need to educate people, and especially creators who are in the center of this online universe now. These days, the creator is the creator. I mean, he creates all the value. If you think about it, Facebook doesn't create anything. Instagram doesn't create anything. It's a platform that serves the creation of others. And this is super viable. Did you have any incident when somebody stole your content from your page and use it in a different way, or infringed it in a manner?
I've had people steal my content so many ways. Literally any way you could think of, you name it, they've stolen it. I've had somebody try to identity theft me. They like create a completely new account called It's Modern Millie, but just spelled a little differently, and try to post my same post and try to get my students to pay that account. And I'm like,
wow,
yo, that's not me. Like, I've had people get really creative with stealing like my branding and stealing a YouTube video. So I had my YouTube video teaching, and they didn't steal the video. Instead, they took word for word a section of the video and taught it as their own in their podcast.
Wow.
So it's like, if people get really creative, and so yeah, you could say I've definitely had a few people steal content here and there.
Wow. Yeah, that's very frustrating. I mean, you put so much time and effort to create something, and people are lazy, or, okay, if you take criminals out of the way, most of the time people are lazy. They want to see something, oh, that's good, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say the same words, I'm going to put the same caption, the same keywords, I don't know. But identity theft, I mean, that's a crime, literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had to report a few pages, people trying to scam. On Facebook, there's somebody pretending to be me, trying to get people to pay them for a YouTube shout out. I'm like, I don't ask people to pay me for YouTube shout outs. What are you doing? So I've had just weird profiles I've had to continuously report to Instagram or Facebook.
Cool. Let me address some questions we have here. Speak Nada asks, can you share some strategies that you tried and tested and produced positive results on Reels? Anything to share?
So some things that I've tested that have worked, or some things that I've tested that haven't worked?
That have worked, yeah. They had the positive results, yeah.
So I think the biggest tips for Reels specifically that works like a charm is your first 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds of your Reels can be a make it or break it thing for your audience. It's how you are capturing your audience's attention in the first 3 seconds, whether it's with words, with movement, with color, with a transition. Those first 3 seconds are going to be pivotal for the watch time, if people are going to let that video play through or not.
3 seconds, okay. I think, people need to pay attention, because, the attention span there is very, very, very short. Is that I guess that's the same with shorts in YouTube.
So with shorts, I haven't posted any shorts yet, but my team, that's something we're working on this year. We have a few shorts edited and scheduled for the pipeline later. Same thing, TikTok, you want that first, I call it the 3 second rule. You want those first 3 seconds to be attention grabbing in any way possible and attention grabbing for your specific audience. Because if I start a reel and I'm like, how to grow on Instagram, that's going to capture some people's attention who want to grow on Instagram, but somebody who's like, I hate Instagram, obviously that's not going to capture their attention, and that's fine because I don't want them to watch the video anyway. So it's just like capturing the attention for the right people.
So you need to know what your audience want to be, who you want to watch that video, and then you adjust. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you following the? I mean, okay, the creator economy is booming. We're hearing words like NFTs and metaverse. How do you see the creator in this environment in the near, or I don't know how near is that future? Have you played with NFTs? Have you imagined how your role would be in a metaverse universe?
Yeah, so for anybody who's watching and they're like, what the heck is an NFT? And NFT is a non-fungible token. I believe I said that correctly. But basically people can own the digital space or digital creation. So if I posted an exclusive photo, my followers could own rights or buy this photo or buy NFTs, whatever, to own exclusive stuff online. That's kind of like very generally explaining it. I definitely see Instagram adapting that. There's a leaker on Twitter. His name's Alessandro. I think it's Alex193A on Twitter. I have him linked in a few YouTube videos, so you can check my YouTube videos if I'm completely wrong. But he's a leaker, and he leaks products or features that Instagram is working on. And one of the things they are working on...
What was the handle, Alex?
I think it's Alex19 something. I could pull it up real fast and check too. But his full name's Alessandro. He's a well-known leaker. He leaks products and features that Instagram thinks.
Alex193A, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Woo. So
good memory.
I don't know how I did that, but he does leak different features that are coming out. And one of the things Instagram is working on, among all the other leaks he has shared, is NFTs. And there are digital wallets that will be going hand in hand with that, where you could link to like a Bitcoin wallet or all these other NFT wallets. And I definitely know Instagram plans to adapt it. I have no idea how I will adapt to it and involve that in my strategy. No clue yet, but I'm interested to see where it goes for sure.
Yeah, it's good that you are paying attention. That's the first step. I mean, you have to have your eyes and ears towards that direction. And just to make it more plain for the people who are watching what an NFT is, imagine if you're a photographer and you have an original picture in real life, not in the digital life, you can print like 10 numbered pictures of the same, 10 copies with serial numbers, and those copies are very valuable because they are one of the 10. They're not one of the million. The same thing happens with NFTs. You can do that for digital assets, digital art, and digital files, and so forth, so on. It's very, very interesting area, and I do believe all the platforms will want to play that game because it's coming.
I'm a little intimidated by it, but I'm ready.
Are you? Why?
I still need to educate myself on the entire thing. I know the very basics, the bare minimums to where we can have this conversation and I understand it. But other than that, no clue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's quite early. It's early days, so you have time to adapt. And NFTs now it's quite a bubble. It's very specific areas you can buy and trade them. But when mass adoption will come, because that's inevitable, it will happen. That's why I asked you about the Instagram, and you revealed that leaker. I'm gonna search for later on. Because Instagram should adapt, and I saw Adam saying about videos and stuff. He didn't mention anything about NFTs, but I do believe it's early days, so he doesn't want to go that direction. A lot of questions will rise up. So, Millie, this was an eye-opening and mind-blowing conversation. I know we got tons of golden nuggets and tons of value out of this. I did, at least. I hope everyone watching had the same experience. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna ask you 3 fast questions. Favorite book?
House in the Cerulean Sea.
Wow, is that a novel?
It is, yeah, I'm trying to find it on my bookshelf right now. I don't remember where I put it. It is a novel.
Why do you like it?
Fiction, and it's just the cutest story. Reading the story, I was like, oh, this is all right. But after reading the book, I keep finding myself going back to those memories of reading it. And it's just like a warm, cozy hug. So it's called The House in the Cerulean Sea.
Wow. All right. Favorite influencer you follow?
Influencer I follow. There's so many. I'm like, I have to pick one. Okay. I guess I'll say
that comes to mind first.
Yeah, I'll say Vanessa Lau because I started following her before I grew, and she was really the person that I was like trying to learn from, watching her YouTube videos. She's really real and authentic. So, Vanessa Lau.
Cool. And before the last question, I want to tell to everyone in the audience, if they liked what they've seen so far, we're doing that weekly. And if they go to copyrightsworld.com/CEN, they'll find links to follow and subscribe to our podcast and to our YouTube channel, because this is recorded, will be repurposed. I have your permissions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. And now to the final question. Imagine I had a huge microphone, and when you talk to it, everyone in the world is listening. What do you say?
The quote that I said earlier that I can't remember.
All right.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'll copy paste that and I'll put it in the end. Okay. Millie, thank you so much for your time. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Cool. See you around and keep creating. I will keep watching and following you.
I'll see you later. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.